Sami Zayn has fallen victim to Seth Rollins' new faction. He is the first victim in this crusade that seemingly they're going to go on. And boy, oh boy, it's going to be something. We're going to get into that as a main story today coming out of the Raw review. But before we do, what's up, people? My name is Mekz. You're watching the Raw review on the Wrestlemaniac UK YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here, and drop a comment in the comment section for your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. It's been a while. It has been a while. I've been away. So, yeah, I've traveled with the family, come back, refreshed, been keeping up with everything, WrestleMania, Raws, SmackDowns, AEW, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to try and bring you guys these reviews every day as you know the content is coming out and podcasts and stuff like that. So definitely hit a like and subscribe if you are new here. And by the way, I'm watching my beloved Arsenal as well, streaming along in the background, so just bear with me. Hopefully Arsenal can make it through to the next round of the Champions League. We are here to talk about Raw, though. We are here to talk about Sami Zayn and Sami Zayn fallen victim to Seth Rollins, this new faction. I mean, boy, this isn't something that I saw. I didn't think Sami Zayn was going to be the first person that comes out to kind of confront them, but it made sense. Sami Zayn is long-term friend of Seth Rollins, and he had a lot to say, basically saying that, this whole thing is just a nonsense, basically. And, he was given till the end of the show to make his decision. Was he going to stand, not necessarily by their side, but get out of their way, if you like? Seth Rollins told Sami Zayn, we can line up something nice for you over on SmackDown. You can avoid us a lot on Raw doing our thing. Even went as far as saying that, John Cena, Randy Orton, that is going to be the Backlash match, and whoever wins that match, you will face them next for the WWE Championship. That's a very nice offer. That's a very nice offer, which they said Paul Heyman could line up. And Sami Zayn, well, if you watch the show, you know what happened. I'm just going to touch on everything to do with this story first, as it's, like I said, it's kind of like the main story coming out of Raw. And, you guys, let me know your thoughts and comments on all of this. Sami Zayn was then approached by Paul Heyman and said, this is a very good offer. Take the offer, get out of our way. Paul Heyman spoke about their bloodline background together and how Paul Heyman commended the fact that, Sami Zayn walked away from the bloodline the same way he asked for grace for, him walking away from the bloodline. So it's similar-ish situations, although, the likes of Sami Zayn has said, boy, this is looking real bloodline-ish to Paul Heyman. So it's going to be very interesting how they go ahead and build in this story. But by the end of the night, we knew that Sami Zayn was effectively rejecting the advances being made by Paul Heyman, by Bron Breakker, by Seth Rollins. And how you make your bed is how you lie in it, basically was the story that we were being told. Sami Zayn had a match with Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker, spear after spear after spear, I think 4 spears in total, with the crowd telling telling Bron Breakker that yes, again, which is just like, we will soon have a conversation about fans and smart fans and, cheering the bad guys and booing the good guys and all of that kind of stuff. We soon need to have a chat about this, because Sami Zayn was phenomenal in his promos all night long. Whether it be at the beginning of the show or the end of the show, Sami Zayn was really, really strong with his promos, with his deliveries, and he didn't necessarily deserve the reaction that the crowd were given in terms of cheering for for Bron Breakker and egging on Bron Breakker and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a bit of a funny reaction, but the direction that we're going in now, you know, you can't help but think Sami Zayn is being positioned here, you know, and that this is like a long-term story, his long-term story, possibly to a world title. Because you see Sami Zayn coming out last week after Jey Uso won his title and not doing anything, you know, to kind of show that I want the world title, but hailing up Jey Uso, saying you're my guy and all of that kind of stuff. And like Seth Rollins said, he thought that he was going to be shown the same respect on the night. Not necessarily the case. I think Sami Zayn from here goes on the journey to get to the world title by WrestleMania next year. I think Sami Zayn, I think firstly we'll probably see the likes of Seth Rollins pick up the world title, the big goal, the World Heavyweight Championship. And then it could be very much, you know, by WrestleMania 42, we're looking at Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins for that world title. Can't forget, we have a Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. We have a Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia where, you know, it would be fantastic PR, if you like, if someone like Sami Zayn won a Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. So I think that we are edging towards that. I think we are edging towards that, and we will have to see, you know, what it's going to look like. But I do think this is the beginning of getting Sami Zayn to the world title. It was a very big shame he missed WrestleMania this year altogether. But yeah, this could be what they have up their sleeve of this story. And the story makes sense. Like the whole thing makes sense. You know, him talk about Seth Rollins and the fight that Seth Rollins was fighting against the bloodline, against all of these guys, just to basically create his own. It makes sense. It makes sense. So yeah, we'll see how this one ends up. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comments on Sami Zayn. Is Sami Zayn, do you see him, you know, as like a world champion? Do you think that's in his immediate future? Because I think it is. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. So before we get into everything else that happened on Raw, just got a few news bits that I wanted to discuss. Firstly, the London mayor still wants a UK WrestleMania. Sadiq Khan, yeah. I don't know who he's trying to sell this to or why this is a difficult sell. Obviously, as a UK based wrestling fan, I would love to have a WrestleMania, but it seems like this should be easy to do. Like, if London have to drum up the money to pay the WWE for this, now obviously I don't know what the non wrestling fans will think of London using that money, but they've got it. Like other cities and lesser places will have a WrestleMania. So yeah, they've got the money. I don't know what the hard thing is or what they're waiting for is. I'm not even sure that Sadiq Khan can deliver this during his reign as Prime Minister, or sorry, as Mayor of London. But you know, for the sake of the story, Sadiq Khan remains confident that London will host WrestleMania in the near future. He's still looking at major sporting events being held in London, and Sadiq Khan continues to think that, and he's expressed his support for a bid for the Olympics and Paralympics to return to London in 2040, while he remains committed to making London WrestleMania first an international destination. So Olympics, Paralympics 2040, that's the time away that we're talking. We're 2025 now. What's that, 15 years away? Very interesting. Like I said, I don't think he'll get this done or whilst he is mayor. Maybe something he brings in if he can bring it in, but really and truly, WWE, they're just, if they weren't already, the global juggernaut now in terms of doing shows all over the place. So I think it's definitely possible, but I don't know what the holdup is. You would think they would have done it already. I think more than anything is they don't want WrestleMania to leave the US. So London can get another show, a Clash at the Castle, and all this other stuff. But will they get a WrestleMania? I doubt it. I don't see it happening. But we'll see what Mr. Khan, Sadiq Khan, that is, what strings he can pull. Another news story I wanted to get into today was Liv Morgan landing a role in a big Hollywood movie. Now, nobody seemingly has reported what this role is. Yeah, but apparently it's like a big role. Before Monday Night Raw, there was reports saying that they've got to deal with something creatively that is a very big deal for Liv Morgan, which seemingly that they've done. So basically, last night on Monday Night Raw, Liv Morgan stated that she's taking some time off to film a new Hollywood movie. The details of the movie are unknown as of this moment, but PW Insider has reported that Liv has landed a major role in a big movie. It's also unclear for how long Liv will be out of action. That's massive. It's massive for Liv Morgan. Congratulations to her. She has been a cornerstone of Monday Night Raw since the top of last year, since the top of 2024. Phenomenal. Basically been on every show. She's been very good. She's been very reliable. So, and she's come a long way. She's definitely come a long way with her skills and, as a character. Like I said, pretty much a cornerstone of that Monday Night Raw women's division. She's done some great stuff. I think that it's already been granted the time off. It's just a case of, logistically, I guess, working out what they are going to do with the women's belts, which would be interesting because those two in Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan have just won back those belts following losing them at WrestleMania. They won them back a day later, whatever it was, 2 days later maybe. So yeah, big things are going on for Liv Morgan. She deserves it because she's been great. It's just a case of how we're going to fill the void now. How we're going to fill the void. But she has been very, very good. Another NXT success story, if you like. And last but not least, before we get into the Raw review, we're just going to talk SmackDown quickly. As SmackDown, as we know, there's been more chatter about it set to return to 2 hours. They've said the quality of SmackDown has dipped ever since it shifted forward towards the 3-hour format. Many believe that 3 hours would allow more talent to get TV time, but that hasn't been the case for the most part. SmackDown, however, is reverting back to 2 hours towards the end of May, as reported by Dave Meltzer. I was told months ago that it's essentially the end of May when it's going to happen. So it's going to be one of those weeks right around then. That's what Dave Meltzer has to say. WWE are attracting more and more and more and more talents every day, signing talents, developing talents. The issue is that even with this stint currently of where SmackDown has been 3 hours, I don't think they've used their time, super well. We haven't seen like more talents get to TV. It's still the same talents that are just given more time to wrestle, and sometimes in stories that don't really mean anything. There's not the need for what do you call these things? Like, I've lost my chain of thought, but there's not the need for all of these hours basically if you're going to use the same talent and stuff. So I think it's interesting because I would imagine they need more time to tell those stories. Who knows? But SmackDown, which returning to 2 hours, makes sense. it has been a bit of a painful watch at times. I think the last few SmackDowns have been okay, but there's obviously in and around WrestleMania, it's been a painful watch to watch a 3-hour SmackDown. For me on a Saturday morning, it's been painful. Like it's a long, long show. So yeah, I welcome it returning to 2 hours, but I hope it doesn't, it's not to the detrimental of too many performers. But yes, let's jump into the Raw review, as it were. We've already discussed Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, how that all kind of worked up. Bron Breakker turning up in his black suit. All right, Bron. All right. Okay. Like we now know you mean business. You dropped the singlets and well, you know, the the singlets and the track suits and stuff like that you were wearing as attire out of the ring. So yeah, it's very clear to see for him, for Heyman, they're going in that kind of heel direction. Seth Rollins, he looks clean. People have been posting pictures of that $13,000 jacket that he wore. He looked clean, but I guess he's still dressing flamboyantly. The glasses that had the eyes on them, I just thought, this guy, man. But we'll see. We'll see what people think, how they take him. So yeah, we spoke about Seth Rollins and that Sami Zayn ultimatum situation at the top of the show. First match we had on the night was Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez again appearing on Raw, which is fine by me because she's fantastic. These two had a really solid match, but it ended up in the disqualification when Julia got involved. So that's another outing on Julia, another outing for Julia, sorry, and Roxanne Perez and Stephanie Vaquer that we saw later on in the night on Monday Night Raw. So for me, this is a hard launch. They are telling us that it is time for Evolution, and we are going to run back WWE Evolution, because they are showing us, some of their best talents, the best of the best talents, the talents that you will probably expect to be on that Evolution card in Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, and Roxanne Perez, along with obviously Raw and SmackDown women's divisions and stuff like that. Maybe some others from the NXT division, but 100%, that's why they're traveling to come here and stuff like that. And yeah, we'll see how they get on. Julia and Roxanne Perez and Stephanie Vaquer. But this match was very good. Julia got involved. The match ended in disqualification. Io Sky got involved as well to back Rhea. Rhea obviously came and helped her last week. So maybe we're getting a tag match coming up. Maybe a backlash. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez and Julia. That might be a thing. We shall see. But definitely more so for me, this is a WWE showing the world this is what we have. This is our division. And that, yeah, we're going to put on a really solid showing with these women when they come and do Evolution. I think they said July in Connecticut. That's what they're looking at. So we'll see what they got then. We had a backstage segment where Finn Balor found out that he had a match on the night, which he seemingly was the only person in Judgment Day that didn't know. Liv Morgan, I think, had kind of constructed it, put it together, that they were going to take on the War Raiders. And JD McDonough, who was Finn Balor's tag team partner, knew, but he hadn't got around to telling Finn either. Finn is still kind of peeved about JD McDonough returning and not telling Finn. Finn is obviously the guy that brought JD McDonough into, Bloodline, Judgment Day. So a nice little dynamic here going on. I think we are going to get around to eventually Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. I think that's where the money is in all of this. IC title probably on the line. But the kind of breakup of Finn Balor and the Judgment Day is happening slowly. The turn will happen on him, and we'll see how, we'll see what the fallout is all of it. Logan Paul. Logan Paul was next on the show, people. And Logan Paul talked about all the stuff he's accomplished in his 4 years in WWE. Now, firstly, I didn't even know that Logan Paul's been in the WWE for 4 years already. That's a long time. But he talked about all his accomplishments and saying all that's left is to become world heavyweight champion. Listen, Logan Paul won a US title and defended it maybe 3 times. So the whole or everything I've done in the WWE chat, I was like, mate, what have you done in the WWE to come in here and demand a world champion? I mean, he's had a couple world championship attempts already. I remember the one against Roman Reigns, but yeah, you ain't done bits like you're saying you have, especially over the last 4 or 5 years, like Jey Uso. But he's a heel. He'll talk his stuff. Jey Uso came out, and Jey Uso was very much to the point that, Logan, you're talking crap, and that, you can get this work, basically. You can get this work. Long story short, Jey hit him with a super kick. Later on in the night, Logan Paul got a punch on him backstage. And it looks like we're pretty much getting Logan Paul versus Jey Uso at Backlash. I don't think it's confirmed. I might be wrong. It might be confirmed, to be fair. But that looks like the Backlash match. Now, Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight title. Who does this match serve? Who benefits from this? I'm struggling to see why this works as a bout. I think from the fact of the pure heel and face dynamic, yes, that's clear. It's down the line. It's clear who the face is. It's clear who the heel is. But I don't think this is beneficial at all. Logan Paul will more than likely lose, and then that's another high-profile loss in regard to world title opportunities that he's had. It'll be another one. Jey Uso isn't legitimized anymore by beating a Logan Paul. Like he called himself, a YouTuber. So I don't think Jey Uso benefits wrestling this match. It's not like, oh, you're a legend that I must beat to kind of show everyone that I'm on it. It's just another guy in front of him. Now, granted, another guy that can probably sell, help to make him look good per se. But what does this do for the prestigiousness of the World Heavyweight title? I don't think that this makes it any more prestige, if you like. Prestigious. This is like Logan Paul just having a free hit at the world title. I really just don't get, we need to be building up Jey Uso. Jey Uso has won the world championship from Gunther, a credible name. We eventually got there with the feud. And we need to be kind of handing him high-level, top-level people to defend this belt against. I think this was one of the failings of Damian Priest's title win. We eventually got to those level of names, but the first few, if I'm correct, uninspiring. Jey Uso already has a tall task on him. Jey Uso has to win over a fan base that don't really think he's world heavyweight level, especially when it comes to in-ring work. for them to do this, I just don't think that they've dealt Jey Uso the best of hands. Logan Paul isn't like a massive star to kind of say it's a scalp. And no one's going to feel like Jey Uso is more of a champion if he wins this match. So why do it? Why do it? We've got an AJ Styles that is looking for a fight, looking to kind of get back in the ring. That's probably a better competitor. I'll make AJ Styles win some type of qualification match or something like that, and he gets Jey Uso. That's more of the level of name ability that Jey Uso and the title needs. But we've chosen Logan Paul. And yeah, I just don't think, like I said, apart from the clear dynamic between face and heel and how that might help Jay's star a bit more, it may not. I don't think there's any real way to quantify it. I just can't understand the decision for Logan Paul to be given this opportunity. I don't know, man. I don't know. But if you think you can justify it, let me know. Drop it in the chat, drop it in the comments, wherever. Let's talk about it. Next up, we had the War Raiders versus Judgment Day. So we touched on this earlier about the Judgment Day, or Finn finding out that he's got a match against the War Raiders, him and JD McDonough. JD McDonough looked really good in this. Obviously, he's just returning from injury. This was like his first televised match back. Yeah, he looked really, really well. And the War Raiders are always fun to just watch, just how they enter a car sort of thing. Just these massive human beings. So yeah, decent match. But with Carlito interfering on behalf of the Judgment Day, it called for Penta to basically even out the odds. And Penta, what did he do? I think he stopped Finn Balor that was, about to do something towards the finish. Long story short, War Raiders won the match. And they are, I guess, back in the hunt for the World Tag Team Championships over on Raw. New Day, by the way, were commentary for this match, and they were very amusing during it. We had this segment where Paul Heyman spoke to Sami Zayn, which I talked about earlier. They justified their actions as to them and the bloodline and this, that, and the other. Paul Heyman was like, don't worry about it. Just do the right thing. Take the offer. Go to SmackDown. Become WWE champion. Made it sound so easy, as you can imagine. Let's talk about this great promo and this happening on the show. Becky Lynch came out, and Becky Lynch came to justify the reasoning behind her attacks on Lyra Valkyria. She started off by talking about, don't try and paint me as the bad guy, the bad person here. She spoke about the fact that Bayley has been attacking her since 2019. 2019. So don't come and boo me like I did something wrong. Which, you know what? When you put it like that, I was like, fair. That is absolutely fair. She just never forgot, sort of thing. So Becky Lynch talked about why she attacked Bayley, and she admitted that straight up, like, I attacked Bayley, it was me. We had Lyra Valkyria eventually come out, and she hit with some decent lines as well. How she's not afraid of Becky Lynch, how she doesn't want to be the next Becky Lynch. She wants to be the first Lyra Valkyria. She looked very strong for someone that doesn't often get to do much in regards to character work and things of that nature. And it is very much, when it comes to Lyra, it is very much just wrestle your way out of this hole, which she often does because she's a very, very good wrestler. But they don't really give her the opportunity to cut promos and show character. It is very much wrestle to get over, which she's been doing. Now she's got the opportunities to do, some other bits and stuff like that. This is going to be a big promo and segment, you know, for the women's IC title. The women's IC title, like I said, Lyra Valkyria has had it from day one, but outside of the great matches she's done and defended it, just we don't know much about her and stuff like that. So this is Becky using this as an opportunity to kind of bring more out of Lyra Valkyria, and you know, maybe we see her on the main roster very soon. But this is it's a good little promo for the IC title for sure. Right. Let's get on to more women's action. This is Stephanie Vaquer and Ivy Nile. Stephanie Vaquer was a surprise that she was going to be here on Raw again. They are making sure that she, like I said, remains looking strong, looking good as she goes into Evolution, which they're yet still to announce, but you know, as per reports, that is down the line. So her coming and beating people, like she beat Ivy now here on the night as the NXT Women's Champion, it's big. It's a big look. Stephanie Vaquer, I think now the higher ups, sorry, have kind of noticed how good she is as well, and they want a piece of that action, as well as, like I said, using her as a big advert for the eventual, what do I call it? Well, it's not Forbidden Door show, but Worlds Collide show. So that's what it's called. Worlds Collide for WWE. So yeah, her and Ivy now had a really good match here. Stephanie Vaquer got the win. She looks strong with that as well. We had backstage Nicole This and AJ Styles. They were doing a little segment, a little promo segment where AJ Styles was, I guess, lobbying for new opportunities. What's next? How do I jump back on the horse following my loss at WrestleMania? And I mean, AJ Styles was probably going to be given this exact match that he got anyway, but then the Judgment Day came in, and you know this is when Liv said her news around she's going to shoot a film, whatever. Dom was flaunted that he wants time off as well, and that Nicole they said that's not how it works. You're not getting any time off. He was disrespectful towards AJ Styles, and he walked away. Now AJ Styles turned to all this and was like, I think I've got an idea, blah, blah, blah. So for sure, there is going to be a Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles match. I don't know if they'll put it on Backlash, but they'll probably get a match. Maybe even if it's on Raw, whatever the case is. Which I think is good. Like I said earlier, I think AJ Styles should have been the kind of caliber of person going after Jey Uso. I wanted to win that world title or whatever the case is. But yeah, we will see. AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio will be fun. If they put the IC title on the line, Dominic Mysterio winning, that's big. Like I say, with Jey Uso, that helps legitimize the champion. That helps legitimize the title. So hopefully we can do something like that. We had this Pat McAfee promo, right? Well, Pat McAfee wanted to take to the floor and discuss what he had went through with Gunther. The beating he got after defending his best friend, Michael Cole. This promo, I can't kind of give you the transcript of it all or whatever the case is, but this was a very, very strong promo. This was a very, very good promo. Like, yeah, the writing level is high. He done a very good job. He done a very, very good job. Now, him calling out Gunther, I can't say I particularly care. Gunther versus Pat McAfee doesn't excite me. It doesn't excite me. Neither should this be a match, a traditional match. This should pretty much be a high level squash. Um, I can't do the maths right now because my brain is fried. But if we look at how many, no, see, my brain's fried. I can't even remember. But listen, Pat McAfee should maybe get his one flipping that he does off the top of the ropes, and after that, he should get brutalized. I thought that the original beatdown that he received last week was to write him off TV, but seemingly that's not the case. So we're going to get this at Backlash. Now, should we be getting this at Backlash when we don't have a lot of spaces? And now Gunther is taking up a space on the card. Sorry, Pat McAfee is taking up a space on the card. I don't know if we should be indulging in a match like this. This could have been a TV main event or something like that. It's weird. It's weird. Like, I get it. And Pat McAfee is decent as a wrestler. But I don't know. I wouldn't have put this on pay-per-view. And I just don't know where they're kind of going with it. And that's fine, because I'm a fan. At the end of the day, I need to sit back and relax, just trust the process of where they may be going with this. But I just can't see any kind of vision for it per se. We'll wait and see. And then in the main event segment, like I just mentioned before, we had Sami Zayn giving Seth Rollins his answer, telling Rollins, like, no, I'm not joining you and all of that kind of stuff. Neither am I running to SmackDown, and I won't be threatened. The kind of through line was, I'm not going to be manipulated and I won't be threatened. That didn't land very well with Rollins. Didn't land well with Rollins at all. So as Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins are having this chin wag in the ring, you got Bron Breakker's music hit. And Bron Breakker, with the whole smoke fog and stuff in his wrestling singlet, with Paul Heyman just peering out from behind him, I just thought it was a great visual. They need to keep that as their entrance sort of thing. Not a, this isn't to kind of start changing him up. I don't think he needs too much changing up. He already came out in a suit and stuff like that. I don't think Bron Breakker really needs much more change to him, apart from the growth we're going to see with him with these guys. But in terms of the packaging, I think Bron Breakker's packaging is fine. It's where exactly it needs to be. Some people are arguing that that's where Rollins' packaging needs to be. It doesn't need to be as flamboyant and stuff, especially while he's about to embark on this heel turn sort of thing. Everyone's got their opinion on it, I guess. But yeah, this led to Bron Breakker versus Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn, the guy, he's the underdog, isn't it? The underdog from the underground, as they call him. Put up a good fight, put up a good little scrap. But Seth Rollins just absolutely killed all of that. Sorry, I say Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker absolutely, put a stop in everything that Sami Zayn was trying to do. Like I mentioned in the intro, he hit him with 4 spears. 4 spears. By now, by the third, Sami Zayn was outside the ring. The medics and everyone was all around, trying to support, trying to help. And as if it wasn't enough, you saw Seth Rollins almost looking like he's scolding Bron Breakker. He turns around and hits him with a stomp. Rollins means what he says. He's not messing around sort of thing. This is real kind of get with us or get rolled over kind of stuff. very strong segment from these men: Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, Sami Zayn, Paul Heyman. Made it run throughout the show as well, which is appreciated. And as fans, it gives you something to kind of come back to, um, just because you want to see what's next, what's the next installment in this story. So yeah, I think they done very well. Like I said earlier, I think we're on the road to making Sami Zayn world champion. I think it's as easy as that. I think Sami Zayn is champion elect at this point, and it won't happen necessarily for another year. There may be champions before then, but we are on that road. That is where we are going with this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to where they take this story over the next few weeks and months and stuff like that. Cool. Right. We got do we have some questions from you guys? Big up my guy Ben. Um yes, I'm literally coming back from holiday today. I'm still knackered. That's why my brain is absolutely doing the most. Maybe it wasn't the smartest idea to come on here tonight. But I said, yeah, I wanna catch up and talk graps with my people because I haven't done that for some time. Cool. But yeah, that is Raw. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I thought it was a solid show. I thought it was a really good show. And I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to doing more shows, more podcasts. I'm gonna have a podcast tomorrow. I think I'll be going live. We'll see how it goes. But there'll definitely be something new for you on the channel tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts on the whole Sami Zayn saga down below in the comments. And yeah, we'll be back with another podcast very, very soon.